What is up, everybody? This is Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast, brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. Go check out Big City Wings in the Houston area. And go check out their great specials every day. They've got something different every single day of the week. Shout out to Big City Wings for sponsoring this episode. And thank you to Celebrity Mint. Go check out celebritymint.com to see their graded legal tender collectibles of Mike Tyson, Ric Flair, and more. Thank you all for sponsoring this episode. I am joined by the What We Learned Houston Rockets edition king, Josh Garcia. It was All-Star Weekend. How was it?
Awful. I would say top to bottom, but there were points in the All-Star game that kind of changed it for me. But then, I really came back down to reality, and I kind of realized something. People don't have the greatest mind or memory when it comes to All-Star games, especially sports. I mean, goldfish memory is key for a lot of fans, but what I've noticed is there hasn't really been many good All-Star games. I could say point blank ever, but really since 2000, I could really say there's 4 or 5. Top to bottom, it was a weird weekend. All-Star game had some moments here. We'll get into Luka in a little bit. I'm sure you'd love to talk about him, Mr. 777, the Destiny guy.
Team of Destiny.
Yeah. Other than that, man, I'm decent. How are you, man?
I'm good. Like you said, All-Star games haven't been good for a long time outside of the MLB. Major League Baseball, because it's baseball, and you get pitchers throwing their best stuff for a single inning. Like Max Scherzer that one year where he started off, I think it was a couple years ago. Started off, he was the starter for whatever AL, NL team, I can't remember. But he's throwing 101, 102, numbers he hasn't touched since early Tigers days, and was with Justin Verlander back then. He's just throwing everything he has, and he's hoping to hit the zone. That's fun. That's cool. Pitchers on best hitters. That's good. NBA, the West, did you see the pictures before the game of the teams, the West team and the East team, where they take the team photo?
Oh, yeah.
You look at the West and you're like, every single person on here is a Hall of Famer, like a future Hall of Famer, no doubt. And the only person on here that's kind of just sticks out, like the polar bear in Arlington, with that polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas, is Karl-Anthony Towns. Everybody else in the picture, you're like, no, this is it. And then you look at the East, you're like, P fucking you. There's one title on this screen. It's Giannis. Yeah. The only one that has a title, and you're like, I don't really like Giannis. So it's like, what are we doing? The West is going to just wax this team. And then the game started, and it was awful. But we'll lead it off with the celebrity game. We're going through the entire All-Star weekend. We're going to make a lot of things quick because they need to be, and there was no time. I had the Celebrity Mint game, or the celebrity, shout out Celebrity Mint. I had the Celebrity NBA game on for the All-Star weekend on my TV. The volume was not up very high, I don't think, but it was on. I think I might have been TikTok, Twitter, just the back and forth on the phone with background noise on. CJ Stroud was in it, so shout out to Houston Texans, shout out to Off the Gridiron. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button on Apollo HOU. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Off the Gridiron is our Texans podcast. Noah and Garrett do a great job, but CJ Stroud was in the celebrity game. He was fine. It didn't impress me. Nothing athletically crazy. Puka Nacua had a couple of dunks. That was cool.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons had 37 points on 31 shots.
Disgusting.
It was absolutely disgusting. Take me back to the days with Kevin Hart, Justin Bieber balling out against Terrell Owens in Phoenix, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
2010, 2009 maybe. I don't know. Terrell Owens went off one year in the celebrity NBA game. It was so sick. But other than that, no, I have nothing. No notes on the celebrity game.
I could sit here and try and kill 5 minutes with just spewing random nonsense that I might have seen on Twitter, but I'm not here for that. You're not here for that. CJ Stroud he has had a crazy week, and
a lot of media.
Like I always say, this isn't an NFL pod, but man, I've been seeing a lot of him on Twitter, and the Amber Rose situation. Those kind of funny.
Just give her a ride home. Just give her a ride home. He's fine.
Yeah. I like thinking positive, happy thoughts, especially about my quarterback. So we'll leave it at that. But Micah Parsons throwing up 31 shots in the celebrity game. What are we doing? Have we seen anything like this before?
I'm sure we have.
Incomparable.
But it was very ball hoggish. Every time he got the ball, the ball was going up, which Tim Hardaway Jr. looking at you. Yeah, the celebrity game stunk. That's just all it really was.
I can't. I have nothing else. I have nothing
No,
else to add,
it's
brother.
fine. We'll move on to the skills challenge. Skills challenge, dare I say, was the best part of NBA All-Star Weekend.
I don't hate it. I
All right,
don't.
well, let's run through
Please.
it. So it had a bunch of different challenges. They had the team kind of course or whatever. So you had the number one picks versus the Pacers versus the All-Stars. Is that what it was? Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
He stayed true to his word, kind of, where he said he was going to shoot with his left hand only in the All-Star game. Turns out he'd started doing it in the skills challenge right off the rip with the 3-point shots. You have to make one.
So
And
gross.
two of them hit the backboard, and I don't know where I don't think they showed the third one on camera because I haven't seen it yet, and I haven't seen the replay yet. So that was fun. Anthony Edwards, good for you. The course was fine. I liked the course setup. I liked what they had to do. However, do we not have better basketball players to do this? Because it seems like none of them knew what to do. No one knew where to go. Tyrese Maxey did it. Scotty Barnes did it. And I think Anthony Edwards did. Like, every single player just missed the turn, like to run around the little obstacles or whatever. They all missed it. I don't know. I thought it was fine. But the viral thing that was going around was Anthony Edwards shooting with his left hand.
Yeah, and Scotty Barnes just being an absolute personality of all personalities. I don't like this. It's almost like a bot mindset. If you look at the Instagram comments, everybody's like, "Oh, he's not beating the allegations." No, he has a personality, and he might be a little silly and, dare I say, dumb. But we love people like that. Every time, like, we've even talked about it on this show. We're like, oh, like, people don't necessarily have personalities in certain leagues or on certain teams. You know, there's no aura. When I see Scotty Barnes, it might not be this guy's one of the best players in the world kind of aura. Mm-hmm. But it's like I want to chill with that guy kind of aura. And I'll take anything at this point. That a lot of sports leagues have a swag problem, and I think Scotty Barnes is just he's like your friend in school that, you know, might sit at a different lunch table than you, might be in different classes than you, but, and I don't mean it like that. Let me clear it out. I more so mean it like, oh, he's the guy you see after school, and, you know, y'all are on some chill shit, but every time y'all see each other, it's just all the time. And I feel like every time I see Scotty Barnes, a part of me he resonates with me in a different way that a lot of players I can't even really think of. But
that was the most Bill Simmons simile in comparison that you could have ever done in your entire life, because I didn't know where you were going, and I don't know if you landed the plane, and it made perfect sense to me. That's the most Bill Simmons way of possible. Scotty Barnes, though, very funny. He lost the dribble on the skills challenge, ran around the wrong way, then lost the dribble, and then did it again. Very funny. Then they ended up doing half-court shots as the second part of it, which is that part of a skills challenge? I think that's more of like a trick shot kind of thing, but whatever. He turns around midway and just shoots one backwards, one-handed, just right over the shoulder, nowhere near the basket. Funniest video I have of all time. And then the passing challenge, he just chunks one like he's Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, just throwing it as hard as he can down the middle of the field. It goes in the passing net or whatever, and then he tries to take off, and it's like a Scooby-Doo or a cartoon kind of thing where the wheels start spinning and he slips and he falls. It was just
straight out of the Flintstones.
All-time meme-worthy moments from Scotty Barnes, and I appreciate him because he made me enjoy the skills challenge.
Exactly, he saved it. I feel like he saved it. Wemby played like shit. Anthony Edwards was playing with his left. These guys you asked earlier, do players, you know, are we going to find better players for this? These are some of the best players in the world, and if they're not even trying and they're making themselves look stupid, I mean, what can save this at this point? And sure, the skills challenge was great, especially at the end. I kind of, you know, was feeling the aura at the end, but you're getting the best players in the world, and only two of them care. And the same thing can be said about the All-Star game, but it also kind of looks different because when you see Cat getting the ball up and down, or Dame getting the ball up and down, or even Tyrese in the first half, you're just like, okay, dude, it's an All-Star game, chill out. But then everyone on Twitter is like, oh, why didn't they try? Why didn't they try? So you can't win in these situations. But it begs the question. I mean, what would you do to fix the All-Star game?
Nothing. You can't. You just won't. Like Larry Bird was talking about it because he was in Indiana which is very funny that he only goes to Pacers things now and not Celtics things. That might be a telltale sign of your organization's health, but whatever, it's fine if your stars aren't coming back home. Neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was talking about, he's like, we need to get some more juice. We need to find some incentives. It's not going to happen. Anthony Edwards said it in his, I don't know if it was pregame, postgame, sometime during the media of All-Star Weekend. He said, no, this is a vacation. This is a break from the competition. This is a time to relax and ease into it. Like if you look at every other player that's not at All-Star Weekend, they all went on vacations. They either went skiing or like somewhere warm, tropical, whatever. They went somewhere else to enjoy their time off from a break from the competition, a time to be with their families, be with their friends, whatever. For the people that go to All-Star Weekend, it's like a forced obligation. You don't get to have that vacation anymore. You don't get to just have fun with your friends and family or whoever. You don't get to take that mental break because you have to go play basketball. And Anthony Edwards' situation, like he had two different events. He had the skills challenge and the actual All-Star game. Like some people just
he was busy.
Yeah, it's not like he just got to take a full-on break. He had to do stuff. So I get it. I feel for him. Like NHL players, they acted the same way, which I thought the NHL All-Star game was pretty good. It happened a few weeks ago now. I thought it was a fun time because it's very similar to the NBA All-Star game. They don't want to get hurt, so they don't try very hard. They don't put up too much of a fight, but they'll play defense here and there whenever they want to. The goalies are obviously trying because they don't want to get scored on. But other than that,
of course,
I thought it was a good NHL All-Star game, but you had the same thing. Like during the NHL All-Star team draft, like they had 4 separate teams, so it took forever, and they had celebrities as their captains. It was just an awful experience. The whole thing. They got down to the nitty-gritty with like 3 or 4 players left. One guy got drafted, and it looked like someone had just like taken his family hostage and shot them because he had no desire to be there. Like he was a late addition to the All-Star team. Like I'm sure he already had the Cabo vacation booked, paid for, all of that, and then they give him a call like, hey man, you're gonna have to go to Toronto, Canada, to go play in the All-Star game, so you're gonna have to miss that.
I found it really interesting. If you notice, the team All-Stars was just all the reserves that just got called up at the last second for the skills challenge. I kind of felt bad for them because they didn't have to be there until they just got that call, like you said. And sure, we got some decent moments with the skills challenge. I feel like they change it up every year, and the LED court just kind of threw me off too. I was kind of, I don't want to say I was waiting for somebody to fall, but the results are the results. Yeah. They speak for themselves. And sure, we got great moments with Scotty Barnes, Anthony Edwards doing the left, which was hilariously silly and utterly pointless. But yeah, I'm really trying to find the bright spots with this All-Star weekend, and there was a couple in the skills challenge. I'm trying to really, really dig deep though. There's a couple moments, especially we'll get to the 3-point challenge. They don't make them like Jason Capono, man. Genuinely, that was one of the first All-Star weekends I ever watched when he went back-to-back 07, 08.
The Darren Williams, Chris Paul discourse that could have happened online if we had ever had Twitter back then.
Oh man, it was up there. I remember you would even see, and this was like peak talking head talk radio, local shit, national shit. The Chris Paul, Darren Williams, man, they were neck and neck for a solid 2-3 years.
It was a real thing,
dude. Ooh, that was so fun, man. I missed that a lot. Go ahead and go with the 3-point challenge here, because I'm really trying to find the great things we can talk about. And I don't want to talk about Damian Lillard winning his bullshit fake accolades for however long.
Mention him at all, actually. Did you see the meme from Seinfeld? And it's Jerry. He opens the door, and it's Kramer, and it's completely greened out, like it's neon green. And Jerry goes, "Kramer, what's going on in there?" And Kramer goes, "Jerry, it's the NBA 3-point contest." And it's just all neon green because it was the Mountain Dew 3-point contest, I guess. And the whole floor was just neon green the whole time. Very hurtful on the eyes. I'm glad I only had my laptop open on this one. Like if this was on the TV throughout the night, like just blaring through my bedroom, I probably would have been just blind the next morning. It's just neon green court, which I thought was funny. And the memes were funny. Whatever. But the 3-point contest was decent. Like the 3-point contest is good most years, just because it's the only thing that is kind of like an actual competition where people try.
Yeah, you can't mess it up. You're shooting.
I
Yeah.
do want to say something about the TNT broadcast team and everyone else involved with it. They mentioned that Karl Anthony Towns is the only big man to ever win the 3-point contest. How soon do we forget the legend, the greatest European basketball player of all time, Dirk Nowitzki, winning the 3-point contest in 2006, the year that he first went to the finals?
Oh man.
I don't know how we forget that. I don't know how we forget the greatest big man scorer of all time. Like shooter, I will say, not scorer. I mean,
Sure.
Kareem
Sure.
is obviously that guy because he scored the most points before LeBron did. But
Yep. That's
Dirk
yep.
won a 3-point contest in 2006, and just we're not going to acknowledge that. I also want to ban big men from the 3-point contest. Is what I've decided.
You think it's
Anyone over like
some kind of advantage that they
6'8",
have?
it's just
What's
like they
the
look awkward grabbing the ball from the rack, and I just can't wrap my head around it, and that's the only reason. No other reason at all.
need
It's
need
just it looks weird.
need 8 different
It looks weird.
yeah, 8 different Trey Youngs is
I need
needed.
guards, and then like a LeBron in there every once in a while would have been fine. Like a 6'8" guy that
Yeah.
plays shooting guard, small
Yeah.
forward, whatever. Yeah, that would be fine. But Lauri Markkanen in there looked weird. Didn't like it. Then I watched the full breakdown of Dirk's round in 2006 where he won the final round. I was like, I don't like it. It doesn't look right. I love Dirk, but it doesn't look right. It looks weird. His shot's off because it's not like the full range of like physics and math that they did in Germany to create a shot with that scientist guy.
Sure.
No,
Sure.
you got to
Yeah.
watch that
Yeah.
documentary of Dirk. He goes back home and he talks with his trainer from Germany, and they created like a whole
Oh, wow.
like scientific method to where like pinpoints on his arm to where the arc is created almost equal almost every single time. So when he does
Wow.
the fade, he still gets the same kind of arc, all that kind of stuff. It's very interesting.
That's
But it looks
that's
very weird.
incredible.
I don't like big men in
Yeah.
the 3-point
Yeah.
contest. That's my roundup of the 3-point contest. Is I like big
Sure,
men.
just completely make it about
Yeah.
Dirk. It makes me wonder because I think of Dirk's form and I think of how generally slow he is. Did he get all the shots off in the minute span?
Mhm.
Because didn't they raise it? It used to be a
It
minute,
used to
right?
be a minute.
And now they
It was
have
like a minute,
the extra
minute
ball or
15, minute 20 this
whatever.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Bring back a minute with none of the starry
Yeah.
bullshit or whatever the
You actually
3-point
get
balls are,
tired in
dude.
that time because you have to go so fast. No, Dirk, I think he literally grabbed the last ball with like 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. Like he got
Wow.
it off
I need
and
to run that
it went
round
in.
back.
Yeah, it's on Twitter somewhere.
Nice.
2006 NBA 3-point contest if you want to look it up.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Good to
they
know.
added the Mountain Dew balls, I guess is what you call them, the extra money balls that count for 3 points
Yeah.
at what, 29 feet, 28 feet maybe. It's not super far. Like it's like a regular shot in an NBA game. Like I see that 10 times a game.
Exactly, yeah. You see Jalen Green do it 6 times a
That's
game, you know? It
That's a real
happens.
problem.
Yeah. Whew. Man. Ime, save us, please.
Yeah, 3-point contest. It was fine. Damian Lillard won. Whatever. I don't think he deserved to win because he didn't get a shot off in the semifinals or the extra round, or I don't even know what they called it because I didn't have the volume on, so I didn't even really listen to it. But there was like extra rounds, like the tiebreaker rounds that were shorter, so they only got to like the middle rack. Damian Lillard shoots one at the buzzer, but it turns out he didn't get it off at the buzzer. But they didn't go review it like they reviewed the last guy. The fix was in. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Talk to him, brother. Dame has, you know what? I want to sit here and list off every single one of his accolades, but all of them are the most just random things that you can think of. We just discovered this. There's a new award. Well, not new. It came out in 2012. Had no idea that there was a Teammate of the Year award. It's almost like when you see an NFL player and they have Walter Payton Man of the Year on their Wikipedia page. You're like, cool, good
At
for
least
you.
I
Thank
know
you,
what
long
that one
snapper.
is, and I know like who wins it every year. Like it's an actual big deal. You get a patch on your jersey and your helmet. Like it's a real thing, and you get to wear it throughout the rest of your career as well. Like
Yeah, Dame has just fake accolades everywhere. I mean, I'm sure his Wikipedia had to get updated a couple times with the All-Star Game MVP and the 2 times starry 3-point contest or whatever the fuck.
the
I
Mountain
couldn't
Dew
tell you, dude. They
neon
change this
green
shit every year.
the neon green court 3-point contest.
Yeah. There was one moment for sure where it was the starry mascots and they had the green and yellow one and they were sitting next to each other. I was like, oh, this is like a little his and hers moment. It was adorable.
Yeah,
And that's all I
it's
got.
fine. Slam dunk contest. I turned off my computer before it started. I don't
blame you.
watch a
I don't
single
blame you.
second of it. I wanted to save face, and I didn't want to like be angry at my computer or at the television. I decided to not watch the slam dunk contest because we haven't had a good one since 2016.
I know. There's been moments in 2020. I was looking at the 2020 slam dunk when Aaron Gordon was back in it.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking. The Gerald every time the slam dunk contest happens, it's always you see the Gerald Green dunk, you see some Iggy, you see some
Vince Carter,
Jason Richardson,
back to 2000.
Yeah,
to
Vince
Vince
Carter.
Carter dunks.
Of course, and I think that was one of the first moments of like modern NBA virality when Kenny Smith, it's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I really think that was like peak All-Star weekend. You can't really do much or feel much more than that. But noticing how shitty, of course, I mean, the slam dunk contest was, Jacob Toppin low-key got robbed. That between the legs, pretty sick.
I've
It was
watched the
pretty sick,
highlights.
brother.
Mac McClung, Jacob
Pretty
Toppin
sick.
definitely won that All-Star slam dunk contest by far. Both of them deserve to be in the final round. Obviously, Toppin didn't make it. McClung, he wins his second in a row and hasn't even played an NBA game in over a year probably now. I saw someone tweet out, dudes used to jump over cars in the slam dunk contest, not 5'3" streamers sitting down. Alluding to Jalen Green, not Jalen Green, Jaylen Brown, another color, different color, two different Jalen's. They spell Jalen differently as well. Sorry about that. Jaylen Brown jumps over Kai Cenat or whatever his name is.
Cenat.
He's a streamer. Yeah. He's 5'3", and he was sitting down in a chair, which made him shorter. And Jaylen Brown dunked a ball over him. Sure. But someone said people used to dunk over cars, and someone quote tweeted it with the full clip of Blake Griffin when they rolled out that Kia Optima onto the court, and he jumped over the hood, which was probably the equivalent of Kai in the chair. Like, this is
exactly.
Yeah, if this happened in today's Twitter or like 6 years ago on Twitter, like people would have ripped him to shreds because I remember it, and people were always talking about it. And they're like, he didn't even dunk over the car; he dunked over the hood of the car, which is not even that
exactly. That was like that. I think someone with a 30-inch vertical could have done that because that's probably how tall the hood of the car is. It's maybe 3-4 feet off the ground. But if you remember, and this might be really weird, it's not niche per se, but like it was kind of a moment. You had to be there. I remember the next day, all the talking heads, because of course I would watch SportsCenter, and I think it was First Take back when I think it was 2010, sure. Maybe Cold Pizza at the time. I don't know. Anyway, I remember all the talking heads were so mad that he just jumped over a car hood instead of the actual car. Yeah. And of course, some fans were like, holy shit, this is crazy. This is crazy. But the general consensus was like, this sucked. And then, of course, as the years went by, as the dunk contest got worse and worse, people were like, yo, do you remember when Blake Griffin dunked over this car? Dude, we all hated it. I can confidently say like 80% of America hated that dunk. Like, truly, man, I'm telling you, the goldfish memory for a lot of these sports fans, it oozes out of their brains whenever some bullshit reminiscence topic comes about.
Yeah, I do remember the Blake Griffin dunk. I watched it live on a TV with volume this time. I remember watching it. I was like, that was pretty cool. And then I watched the replay of it over and over again. I'm like, it's getting less cool every time I watch it. And I'm like, I think if I could dunk a basketball at 10 feet rim, which I did one time freshman in college, not a big deal. 5'8" for the record. I was able to dunk a basketball one time. Not a big deal. But if I was able to do that like regularly, I think I could have dunked a basketball over a Kia Optima. Like I could have done that very much so. So now that when you look back on it, you're like, yeah, it's not very good. So it was basically the equivalent, but it happened to be a car instead of a streamer, which doesn't even hit the entire demographic. Like I know it hits a lot of the younger NBA crowd. I don't watch streamers, so I don't. Like, sure, it kind of appeals. Maybe people like 25 and under are like, yeah, okay, I know that guy. That's kind of cool. If he was standing up maybe and holding the ball up all the way when didn't Mac McClung just dunk over Shaq?
Yeah, everybody was dunking over a plethora of people.
Over Shaq as well? Like, is that what I read?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing if we're just jumping over a 5'3" guy that's sitting down?
Yeah. No, that's what made it so disgusting. I was watching it with moms, and I remember they pulled out the metal chair, and I was like, "Oh, is Tatum going to be sitting down? Yeah, is Tatum going to be sitting down, and is Kai going to be on Tatum's shoulders or something? Okay. What's the situation here?" Because that's originally what I thought it was going to be. But then I just see him. I see him sit down, and I am just beside myself. I look at my mom who has no idea who this guy
No.
is. And I'm like, "You see how short this guy is, right?" She's like, "Yeah, he's probably like 5 feet tall, maybe." I was like, "Yeah, he's sitting down. He's maybe 3 feet off the ground." Oh my god, Kai Cenat in a Kia Optima hood. I mean, two peas in a pod here. What are we thinking?
One and the same.
This was insanity.
They're
And people on Twitter were just sitting there saying Jaylen Brown's creativity is off the chart. There was genuine tweets. It wasn't
No.
just Boston Celtics muse accounts or Jaylen Brown muse accounts or Tatum muse accounts. It was genuine, real people. And especially in the Instagram comments I was seeing as the dunk contest was rolling through, I was seeing people say that Jaylen Brown's creativity was crazy. These were normal
He
dunks,
also
people.
copied a
And
dunk from a Celtics guy that did the dunk contest 10, 15 years ago.
D Brown.
And
Yep,
he did
yep.
the
And he delayed it.
dab, and
Yeah.
he didn't hit the dab really until the end when he was on the ground. So that was pretty fun.
God.
Yeah. Okay. Like Kai Cenat and Kia Optima are. It's like the Office meme when Pam
Yeah.
has the two pictures and the HR needs to tell me the difference between the two pictures, and it's the same picture. That's the same thing, except for Blake Griffin won the dunk contest and Jaylen Brown getting booed off stage with tomatoes being thrown at him.
Multiple times got
100%,
booed. Crazy.
100%. All-Star game. Let's get into it. Sunday night. We're recording this Monday night, February 19th. All-Star game has happened. It is over. I guess the East won. They put up 210, 211 points.
Yep, 211.
It was a layup fest. The only things that I took away from the All-Star game was Luka and Jokic just like fucking around the whole time. The entire time. They just did not give a single fuck the entire time. Luka's like missing layups, which rarely happens unless he's getting fouled, essentially. He threw an alley-oop to himself off of the backboard and missed the dunk. He did dunk once on Jason Tatum. I will have that known. The first points that he scored, he shoved Tyrese Halliburton in the chest and said, "No, let me shoot." And then Jokic is like double fist pumping as they go down the court because Luka finally scored his first 2 points. The back and forth pass all the way down the court with no dribbles. That was cool.
Yeah, great.
That was fun. And then Jokic didn't even shoot the ball. He passed it to Shai out and Gilgeous-Alexander right behind him. Just a little tip pass. That was fun. Jokic and Luka double teamed a guy in the backcourt right after a made basket. So that was fun. The double team lasted a solid 3.5 seconds before the guy just passed out of it, and they ran.
Immediately, he was like,
"I'm
gonna
walk down the court now." Walk is the emphasis there. They did not run.
I think Luka at all. No, Luka passed half court maybe 15 times that game, and he scored 7 points. I mean, if you think about it, 85% of the possessions that he was on the court, he just wasn't participating in. So if you really break it down and you look at the efficiency, see, I'm trying to help your case here.
Right?
Break it down. Look at the efficiency, man. It's pretty good stuff.
I will say, so if you didn't see Luka's pregame outfit, he had a suit on with a trench coat, dress shoes, sunglasses tied up, like a vest. He had it all on. I was like, buddy, he's going to score so many points. He's going to score all the points. And I will be remiss to say that use code Apollo on Prize Picks for up to $100 match on your first deposit. I did hit the more on Luka's 11.5 points on Prize Picks, and I very much lost it. I lost that money. It's fine.
Yeah, to be fully transparent, I noticed that his lines were really low.
Yeah,
and
it's fine.
I in my brain I was like, okay, he's either going to score 45 or he's going to score 5, and I really wish that he did get 45. But I feel like
I like this version
as much as we were talking about as much as we were talking about the tryhards, like Cat's 50 was kind of a fun 50 if you really break it down. Because I hate to say this, but I watched the whole game, and I don't know why I didn't
make it. Stop.
I don't blame you. What really pissed me off. Okay, well let me get point by point here. Cat, his overall just presence in the game. Of course, you saw it in his eyes. He was busting ass, but
absolutely,
I don't know why. He was on try hard mode, and I maybe he knew that he wasn't going to get the MVP because, of course, losing team usually doesn't get it unless something, some storyline or something crazy happens.
Didn't Kobe get it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a couple times, but of course, the points get spread around, or at least used to get spread around a lot more. Cat getting 50, it feels like anyone can get, I mean, obviously anyone can get 50 in an All-Star game. All you got to do is get the ball 10, 15, 20 times and you get it. And there is probably 150 possessions per team or something crazy like that. We saw almost a total of, I think it was, let me do the math,
Yeah,
398 points,
we're approaching
397.
400 points, so that was cool.
Yeah, there's almost 400 points. So I saw it was the secret base John Boyce Twitter, and it was like nobody can touch the DeVry University score in 1880 something. I was like, you fucking bastard, I
Good.
love you. Cat was busting ass, trying his ass off. Yeah, Tyrese, I get it because it was a home situation. It's like, oh, you want to show out, you want to have
Absolute
fun.
sense.
Yeah, no bad thoughts there.
And he even
But
tried the
what
white
really
chocolate
puts,
Jason Williams elbow pass behind the back with the elbow, and it was
dude,
like
I
okay,
know.
but it wasn't great.
Yeah,
But he was
it
doing
looked
fun
cool.
things for an All-Star game while also being a tryhard. That was the perfect
Exactly.
mix from Tyrese Halliburton, who should have won All-Star game MVP. And I
Exactly.
understand why the crowd was booing Damian Lillard.
Exactly. And I love the booing, the constant booing of Jaylen Brown.
Yes,
It felt like
that was good.
they just viewed him as a 48-hour terrorist to their city. It was just crazy.
And Draymond Green and Chuck in the booth. That was good. That was a lot of fun, actually. They were both.
It was something.
They were funny. I had a lot of fun watching the clips this morning over again. So
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Draymond Green just calling people out and fucking with Chuck the whole time. So that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a good run.
Let me just wrap it up. Let me wrap up our All-Star game talk because this is, my brain is melting.
there's no need to
This is, we've talked about this
anymore.
for way too long. But let me just finish off with this. Nikola Jokic dribbling the ball out in an All-Star game. I don't know if you saw this. I have never been so mad at something because, of course, I wanted to see both teams get 200. It wasn't going to happen. But Nikola Jokic having the ball for almost 20 seconds and just dribbling it out in an All-Star game, I've never seen anything like it. Nobody booed him. Nobody booed him or anything. And I'm telling you, if I was in that crowd, it would have been raps. I would have lost my vocal cords within 20 seconds. Within the 20 seconds he was doing it. It was crazy. Like, what are we doing?
All I know is the Jokic-Luka teaming up in Dallas in like 5 years is going to hit different. Because to get the best,
I swear.
dude, if either player decides to leave, you know exactly where they're going. They're going to wherever Luka is, or they're going to wherever Jokic is. Whoever leaves first, that's where they're going. It's the funniest thing watching them interact.
It's such a cute bromance. I can't say I've seen anything like it in ball in a long time, but yeah, man, I love those European guys. Those slow,
it's like the farm Siberia, Slovenia horse boat.
Yeah, the rodeo. Rodeos. I'll workshop a name. We'll come back
rodeo.
with it. The Balkan. There it is. I like that. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. Did you see Luka and JJ Redick's podcast? He's like, I just need to make enough money to buy a farm and then I'll retire. He's like, I need a championship. I need an MVP and another contract to build a farm in Slovenia and go away. And I was like, awesome. What a life. It's very Jose Altuve-ish. We're a Houston-based company. He says the same thing. He needs enough money to buy an island outside of Venezuela, or just on off the coast of Venezuela. He needs enough money to buy that island, just sign an extension. I think he's got it now, over $300 million in career earnings. He's going to buy an island and do that. Jokic is going to buy more horses, and Luka's going to build a farm in Slovenia. It's the ultimate American foreigner dream, you know? Come to America, make all of your money, and go back to your home country and do whatever you want.
Exactly. Take 10, 15 years out of your life and just run back. It makes me wonder, though, what, with this new wave of athletes coming in, who are, let's say, 27 and younger, are they going to be retiring by 32, 35? Like, what's their situation going to be? Because are they going to make their 500 milli and just be like, I've given all I can? Or are people going to, goat chase, ring chase? It makes me wonder, what sport's going to look like in 10 years?
I do think Jokic and Luka are the two to look at and be like, all right, if they get their super duper max, because when Luka makes all NBA team, because he's going to make probably all NBA first team, he's eligible for a $370 million 5-year contract extension. He gets that.
Good Lord.
He gets a ring. He gets an MVP. Does he just finish that one out and is like, all right, I'm good, dude. I made almost $600 million in my NBA career. I'm good.
Good
on
God.
Literally,
Exactly.
Literally rookie deal, extension, and that would be nearly $600 million.
God, man, what a life. What a life. Sacrifice 10, 15 years and just call it. Yeah. That's awesome.
Because that would be what, 13 years, 14 years?
Yeah, if I was gonna say if
Maybe it's
15,
maybe
I
it's
think
12.
yeah, I think he'd knock it out in 12
Yeah, I
probably.
mean,
So but it really does make you wonder, where are these superstars going to be when they're 35? Are they going to be LeBron, chasing, stats and ring? We love our king, but he's almost 40.
yeah,
You have nothing left to prove, king. But we love seeing you. And that he had a dunk or two. It's pretty cool. And then he just was kind of nursing that ankle. I think
yeah.
he played maybe 5-10
The
minutes.
missed dunk as
But hey,
well on the fast break.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. That's more than enough to me. Just glad we got to see our king in one
Yeah,
more.
20 All-Star games for LeBron in a row.
Means more.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see many LeBrons where they play into their 40s ever in basketball, just because like
No.
they make so much more money now. Like Kevin Garnett retired the highest earner in NBA history in career earnings. And he had like 270 million. It's like one of
Wow.
Bradley Beal's contracts now. It's just a singular Bradley Beal contract.
Exactly. Oh my God. No, you're not wrong, dude. The money is going around.
Which
And
inflation and all
good for
that
them.
stuff, whatever. But yeah, they just make a lot of money
Right.
now. But yeah, the All-Star game, it was a dud to say the least. It was fine. There was funny moments in there. There wasn't like any like, oh my God, that melted my brain moments. Fun moments,
Right.
funny moments, meme-worthy moments, but nothing crazy. The All-Star game stinks, and you're never gonna fix it. I'm gonna just tune into the skills challenge and hope Scotty Barnes is there next year.
Exactly. That's all we can hope for at this point. Scotty Barnes, please save us.
Yeah, that's all we can really count on. But we'll probably just close it out there. That's an All-Star weekend wrap up. We'll get back into actual NBA news Wednesday night before action starts, maybe, or maybe we'll save it for Thursday night once some games be played. I don't know. We'll see where the world takes us. We'll be back later this week, though, with another episode. NBA's back on Thursday. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life for the next 3 days. Probably watch reality.
College basketball.
Probably watch reality.
Do something.
I think Mississippi State and Ole Miss play on Wednesday, so I'll be dialed in for that.
Nice.
But yeah, this has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out. They've got specials every day in the Houston area. Go check out Big City Wings now, tomorrow, forever. And then go look to celebritymint.com. Go check out Celebrity Mint's graded legal tender collectibles of Mike Tyson, Ric Flair, and more. You can follow them on social media at The Celebrity Mint. And as always, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your listening podcast from, and hit the follow button or subscribe button on Apollo HOU's YouTube. Turn the notification bell. We just had an awesome video of the 100 Mile an Hour Challenge sponsored by Academy Sports. Shout out to them. Have fun out there, as they say. Great video. It was a fun one. Yeah, this has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast.